Hey guys, welcome back to another video game review, and this time it's gonna be The Last of Us. And once again, I just want to reiterate this. Every now and again, I would do I've played this game for the first time type of review. It would contain some spoilers, so here will be your spoiler warnings. These are games that, has been out for years. And in this case, The Last of Us, by the way, I got this bad boy from Target, few months ago. This game actually had people, like urging me to play it, like, Fawn, how come you've never played The Last of Us? This is one of the best games ever made. Like, even though I wasn't like a huge gamer back then, like I've heard about this game. I know it is considered by many people the best game ever made. But for one reason or another, I've never, got a chance to play it. So last week I finished the main story for The Last of Us on normal. Don't judge me. And let me tell you guys something. It is the best game ever made. Like, I'm saying it as a fact. Like, I have never played a game this good, like, ever in my life. In terms of story, The Last of Us is second to none. The levels of writings and, scripting in the game is on par with some of the best movie or TV show. Like, it is so cinematic. Like, playing this game did not feel like playing a game. It feel like I'm watching a interactive movie. The world is so well realized. The characters are super compelling. And even though I played this game like 6 years late, it is still incredibly relevant. Like, the game, there are so many themes, so many messages in the game that are just still relevant to this day, and the games hold up, man. Like, in terms of graphics, like, I know I played the remaster version and it did not look as good in the PS3. But from the graphics, the characters design, lip syncing, voice acting, everything holds up incredibly well. I want to talk a little bit about the performances and the voice actings because they were all incredible across the board. But I want to highlight two in particular, and that is Ashley Johnson as Ellie and Troy Baker as Joel. These two actors, they brought a level of humanity that I did not expect in a video game. I mean, like, when you think of like a stereotypical video game character, you think of like this macho man, this badass, untouchable dude with a gun. Usually, you don't really think of video game characters as someone who is real and someone who is complex, someone who has layers. But that is very much the case in The Last of Us. And I think this is like, and I could be wrong here, but I think The Last of Us is the first game to really push that boundary of, what a video game character could be and arguably should be. When you think of Joel, he is just an everyday man pushed to his limit. He is forced to do all these terrible things that he is not particularly proud of, but he has to do those things to survive. You're talking about Ellie's one of the most compelling female characters ever put on any medium, honestly. I also have a lot of fun with the gameplay. I know it's not like anything groundbreaking, but I think it worked. It worked really well with this story. Because this is a post-apocalyptic world where there are zombie-like creatures that are called infected. Some of them were called clickers in the game, and they're extremely dangerous, and you just can't run headfirst into the combat, not in your first playthrough, at least, because number one, you don't have a whole lot of ammunition, and you don't have a whole lot of help and weapons and materials, all that, and number two, these guys, some of them, the clickers, it's one hit. Like, if they gotta grab you, you're done. So you gotta be really careful, and the combat relies heavily on stealth. And like, for me personally, those like stealth sequences really got to me. Like, really got under my skin. Those are so creepy, and like, you have to be really careful with your like movement and with you gotta check your how much ammo you got, so you can like plan out your attack. So let's say you have a lot of ammo, you can afford to like shoot a few of them, but if you don't have enough ammo, you gotta like take them out quietly one by one. So those could be really stressful, really stressful. And like, I think I mentioned it before, every time I play a game like this, a horror game, I get anxiety. Like every time, every time I see those clickers or hear them, because usually you hear the sound that they make first, and then they would come out of a door or like a hallway or something like that. Super super scary stuff, right? Every time, like every time I know, like, okay, I'm about to go into these stealth mission, if you will, and I got to take out like a bunch of clickers. I get anxiety, man. Like I get so worked up playing this game, but like in a good way. I honestly cannot think of a single negative thing to say. Like I have a few nitpick. It has mostly to do with the AI. Not for the enemies though. I thought the AI for the enemies were really well done, but the AIs for like the people that you travel with. I mean, like there are a few moments where, like, let's say you have to hide from certain enemies, right? So you are like staying behind like a wall, or like a big rock, or like just like something for you to like hide from the enemies, like you're crouching down and whatnot. So the enemies can't see you, but when you look at the background, like all these people, from sometimes Ellie, sometimes people you run into, let's say Henry or Sam, they're just running everywhere. Like they just like they just don't know what to do. Like they look like a bunch of idiots, just like running, back and forth. It would suck. I'm not gonna lie. It would suck if I'm doing really good with my stealth, but then my allies, the AI, messed it up for me. That would suck real bad. But at the same time, when I see that, like, and I know, like, in a real situation, the enemies could easily see you. That kind of break the realism of the game a little bit. So that's like, I guess that's my only complaint that I have. Like this game, when you play it, you just know, it's made by people who really love game and who really care about the experience of playing a game. And how could I go this far without talking about the amazing musical score? The musical scores of The Last of Us is composed by a composer named Gustavo Santaolalla. I think that's how you say his name. He's from Argentina. And I really, really love this score because it's subtle. And I think it makes sense because, like, you're in a pretty depressing world, It wouldn't, I don't think it would be appropriate to have, like, this Hans Zimmer, like, epic score, right? Avengers type score. It would be really out of place. So I think it's a really good choice to have this, like, mostly guitar solo, really subtle stuff. It's almost like country music in a way. And I thought it worked perfectly with the game. And right now I'm about to talk about the ending of the game and how I feel about it. So I know I said spoiler warning in the beginning of the video. This is like the spoiler. So if you have not played the game, please go away. Please go play the game. Do yourself a favor and play The Last of Us, and then come back, right? Or if you don't care, stay. So in the end of the game, you get Ellie out of the hospital, and you lie to her about the Firefly and that they found a bunch of people like her immune to the virus, the fungus infection. And they've been trying to get they've been trying to make the vaccine, but they did not succeed. So they just stopped trying. So that's the lie that you told Ellie, right? And you took her back to Tommy's place. And before that, you kill a bunch of people, including Marlene. So that's pretty messed up. What Joel did was pretty messed up. I'm not gonna lie. But then some people got like a big problem with that ending. And for me, I think that ending is perfect. I thought the ending of The Last of Us is perfect because it was never about, saving the world. It was never about finding the vaccine. At least for me, like when I played the game, it was never about getting the vaccine, giving everyone a vaccine, and then the world is gonna be fine again. It's not that. The game is about human connection. It's about a guy who, spoiler, lost his daughter 20 years ago, right? And now he got a second chance to be the father, or father figure again, for Ellie. And the fact that he was willing to, by the end of the game, the fact that he was willing to kill all these people, and the fact that he risked ending humanity as we know it, just to be, Ellie's father. Is it selfish? Sure. But that's the story. The story is about a selfish man, trying to survive. And, when he found this little thing, this little baby girl that he can be a father to, like, he just can't let it go, So for me, that's the story. That's the story. It is about Joel and Ellie, and the connection that they made, and the relationship that they developed throughout the game. It was never about the vaccine or saving humanity, nothing like that. So for me, the ending works perfectly. So yeah, guys, that was my review for The Last of Us. I have not finished Left Behind, which is a DLC focused on Ellie this time. I have not finished it yet. I might talk about it when I do, so stay tuned for that. But for now, The Last of Us, the best game I've ever played, arguably the best game I've ever made. It got a good ass story, man, with good performances, an amazing musical score, great gameplay, and it really is the game that pushes many boundaries and became the new bar. This is the new bar for video game. The Last of Us was a really emotional, exciting, and most important of all, really thought-provoking ride. And again, the best video game I've ever played. And I'm gonna give The Last of Us a 10 out of 10. Come to think of it, I don't think this game would work as a movie adaptation. I don't think it's a smart idea to make this game a movie, because there's just a lot. There's nothing in this game that you could cut out, to cram into this 2, potentially 3 hours movie. So I think maybe a mini series would work better, because you got different chapters in the game that you could break it down to. If you got a chance to play The Last of Us, let me know in the comment section how you feel about it. Did you like it? Did you not like it? And if you enjoyed my review, hit the like button and subscribe if you want to see more reviews like this. With that being said, I'll see you soon.